just like to quote from that speech. When the Prime Minister and the Treasurer say that the Australian economy is doing better than most, they're right. I agree with them. There's no doubt that the Australian economy is doing better than most. Our unemployment is remarkably low. Our debt to GDP compares very favourably on all the measurements. Our inflation is low. Well, if it's good enough for John Howard to acknowledge the strength of the Australian economy, it ought to be good enough for Tony Abbott. I think what John Howard is saying this morning is that enough is enough. Tony Abbott should stop talking down the Australian economy and telling the truth about it. Because when a political leader like Mr Abbott trashes our economy day in, day out, that does have an impact on confidence. Now, he's been out there saying that the carbon price will put a wrecking ball through our economy. He's been out there saying it month after month after month. It's about time Tony Abbott started telling the truth. We saw on Saturday that Tony Abbott has finally been mugged by reality, and he started to walk back a little bit on his outrageous claims about carbon pricing. But I think what we can see in this speech from Mr Howard today is some honesty about the economy. It's about time we had some from Mr Abbott. Enough is enough. Now, we've also seen today some further honesty, if you like, from Mr Howard, talking about how the Liberals ought to bring back work choices. He says, "I think we have to address this issue again." Now, I think you can bet your bottom dollar if Mr Howard, who was a Liberal Prime Minister for 12 years, is talking about bringing back work choices, then you can bet your bottom dollar that Mr Abbott is bringing back work choices. I think we can see in this speech from Mr Howard overnight the traditional Liberal commitment to ripping away workers' wages and working conditions. You can see him expose Mr Abbott when it comes to the economy and the scare campaign he's been running on carbon pricing. But I think there's a couple of themes that run through all of this, particularly when you look to Queensland. You can see up there the big cuts to public services, the big cuts to jobs. You can see Mr Abbott in recent days talking about taking the axe to education. And now you can see the Liberals calling again for the reintroduction of work choices. That is the Liberal agenda. You can see it in operation in Queensland. And Liberals do what Liberals always do, which is attack the wages and working conditions of working people and slash their services, particularly in health and education.